Hi, hola, annyeong. How are you? Thank you for tuning in to K Learns and welcome back. Today, my video is going to be about the way that I learn Korean. I got into learning Korean because I started watching some K dramas, and then I started listening to some K-pop, K-R&B, K-hip hop music, and I was like, I gotta learn this. I need to know what's being said. It's a beautiful language, and I just decided to go ahead and jump in. And there are three ways that I've decided to learn Korean. So the first way, like I said earlier, is watching K dramas. So I'll watch them on Korean with English subtitles. So I'm reading along as it goes, and then I'm like listening to pick up on certain words that I have memorized. The second way that I've decided to learn Korean is by using an app called Duolingo, which I'll go more into in a second. And then the final way is the things that I learned from the Duolingo app, I copy into a 5 subject notebook that I've just called my Korean notebook. And I'll look at that daily, semi weekly. So, those are the three ways that I decided to learn Korean. Today, I'll be talking about Duolingo, and there are 3 versions of Duolingo. There's your regular version Duolingo, and the mascot is a little green bird. And then there's Super Duolingo, which is the version that I'll be talking about today. That's the version that I have. I pay a certain amount at the beginning of each year, and then I'm good for the whole year. That mascot looks like a green, blue, and purple bird. And then there's also Duo Max, which is a black and purple bird. So those are the 3 versions of Duolingo, but today I'll be talking about Super Duolingo. That's the version that I have. That's the version that I use. So on Super Duolingo, subjects in Korean are broken down into sections and units. The amount of units per section varies, but there's usually about 7 lessons in each unit. There's about 2 to 5 exercises in each lesson. So it's really broken down. And then for each lesson that you do, you get points. So as you'll see here across the bottom of the screen, you'll see home, which is where you can just go to do your lessons daily. And then you'll see Hangul, which is essentially the Korean alphabet. It's not necessarily an alphabet, and when you look at it, you'll see that it's broken up into sections as well. You also have your daily quests, your skill practice, your rank, and then finally your feed and your profile that you create when you get the app. So when I started learning Korean on Duolingo, I started with Hangul because just about when you learn any language, you start with their version of the alphabet or their alphabet. So I started with Hangul, and I do that at least once a day. I do it continuously, even though I've already finished it. Technically, I keep doing it because I need the regular I need it regularly to remember everything. So it teaches you what the symbols look like, how they sound, and then essentially the letters that they represent in the English alphabet, which is very helpful. And you get points for doing the Hangul as well. Daily quests are essentially objectives. You are able to, I don't want to say supposed to, but you're able to finish them by the end of the day. And you get points for that too. The end of the day is at midnight, so you have literally from midnight to do your daily quest. There's usually just 3 of them to complete by the end of the day, and then you'll get points for that as well. Skill practice is made up of 3 sections. So you've got mistakes. Any mistakes that you've made during your lessons will go there for you to review. You've got words. Any new words that you're learning from your lessons will go there. And then you have listening exercises as well, so that you can pick up on when someone is saying things to you in conversation, what it sounds like. You get points for those as well. There's also a little spot for stories. I haven't seen any stories pop up for Korean yet in Super Duolingo. Okay, so next is your rank. These are crystals and gems, essentially from bronze to diamond league. So you start in bronze league and then you can work your way up depending on how many points you get per day. The more you practice, the more points you get. So you can go from bronze all the way up to the diamond league. I've made it up to the diamond league. I find it extremely challenging to stay in the diamond league. You essentially have to do Duolingo like all day. All day long to stay in the diamond league. It's very challenging, but it's worth it. So as you go, you get gems as rewards, and you can use these gems in your treasure chest to purchase certain perks. The perks are streak freezes. So as you do your Duolingo day by day, it saves your streak. And if you accidentally miss a day, you can get a streak freeze, which will hold that day and you won't lose your entire streak. So that's really nice. And then you also get timer boosters. There are some exercises in Duolingo that are timed. You choose to do those. You don't have to do those, but they are timed. And as you go, you can get timer boosters that give you more time to do the exercise or that take off some of the lessons so that you can get it done within that time limit. So those are some perks that you can use your gems for to purchase, if you will, in the app to help you out. I love Super Duolingo. I use it for Spanish as well, which I will talk about in another video. I also use it for music, which they just added recently, which is fantastic. They also have math. Math and I do not get along, so I do not do that, but they have math, which I think is great. However, there is one downfall, I think, to Super Duolingo, and that is that it does not explain the grammar, if you will, of the Korean language. So there are certain words that are used at different times, and I've had to Google, why do I use this word in this sentence but not this word in another sentence? Or I've had to Google the difference between proper grammar and improper grammar in the Korean language because Super Duolingo does not explain that for you. However, like I said, I do love the Super Duolingo version. I do it every day. I have missed some days, but I've got like over a 500 something day streak, and it's definitely teaching me a lot. I've learned a lot more than I thought I would, and reinforcing it with my Korean notebook is extremely helpful as well for memorization, because remembering this stuff is definitely challenging the older you get. So, me being 33 soon, I really need that Korean notebook. So I hope that if you don't have Duolingo, you'll get it. You'll give it a chance. You'll give it a try. There are a ton of languages on there. So, take your time. Just pick 1, 2, and go from there and see how it works for you. If you want to know the difference between regular Duolingo and Duolingo Max, I can do another video on that. And also, if you want to know more about my Korean notebook that I've created, I can also do another video on that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how I learned Korean. And if you want to see more, just comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because I will be back monthly with more videos on things that I am learning. So thank you so much for tuning in.